After doing the expedition, upgrading your workbenches again can be a pain, especially finding some of the rarer items for upgrading your workbench. I'm going to show you some guaranteed spots for some items you need for the workbench, as well as some high drop rate spots. Let me show you. First, you're going to need to make your way to Sandbox on Stella Montes. So if you got a spawn around this side of the map, what we can do is drop down here, and there'll be a shortcut towards Sandbox here. I'm going to show you the direct route you need to get, and it has 3 rusted tools guaranteed every single time. And you're going to need that for level 2 of the workbench. So we come through here. I'll just show you where we are on the map right now. We are going towards this area. At the moment, we're going into the control room. Come through here, avoiding the shredder. We come up here, like so, and in this corner is the magical box where we get 3 rusted tools every time. Absolutely busted. There's a showstopper blueprint in there as well, which is a industrial style blueprint spawn. So yeah, that's the fastest way to get rusted tools. Whilst you're here, that's an augment box, by the way, if you didn't know, so it's worth checking. Wait for this fireball to step outside. Oh, there's 2 of them. They're not allowed to leave the room, apparently. Oh, wait, 1 did. Another augment box here where you can get augment blueprints, and just quickly showing you before we move on. Now I'm going to extract, and I'm going to show you another place. For motors, you're going to want to go to the new controlled access zone area on Dam Battleground. So we come up along here on this side. Let me show you where it is on the map. Then there'll be the entrance to this place. Now what's special about this is the puzzle usually requires a motor to complete. So the devs decided to add the motor as a really common spawn in this area, which is really quite funny. So what we really need to do is get in this room here, where we'll usually find a motor, but it's not the only spot that can spawn one. And I'll show you the other loot spots potentially as well. So if we come in through here, which springs there, but there's a bunch of spawns here and loot containers where you could find yourself a motor. Take a quick look through right now. There's also a power cable in here. Once we've done that, what we want to do now is go downstairs, and we need to find the battery that opens this thing. The battery usually spawns right on the bottom floor, so we want to make our way all of the way down to the bottom here. Whilst we're going, we can check any other spawns in the area, because it could potentially be a motor along the way. Another industrial magnet. And as you can see, industrial style loot just spawns out in the open here. It's really quite crazy. Anyway, we'll go down to the bottom, and I'll show you a couple potential spawns. It could be a battery that spawns here. Fuel cell, rather. Come along this way. There could be a fuel cell that spawns down here. Along this way as well. And then if we climb up this ladder, there's also another spawn, and it spawns randomly every time. So one of the other spawns is down here. We've also got some more red lockers here that you may as well go through. Keep an eye out on those industrial style items you need. And here is another spawn. So those are the spawns that I know of, 4 spawns there. And then what you want to do is come up through this way. It does take a little bit of preparation, and you can get motors spawning in a lot of industrial style containers and in cars even, but it's a low chance. I find this is more of a higher chance. Yes, it takes a bit more prep, but it's more likely you'll get the motor you need. You come up through here now that you got the battery from the bottom floor, and you just pop it in the battery holder just up here, right there. And then that's going to open up this room, and it's in there that you'll usually find a motor, because the motor is often required for the final step of the puzzle, which you need multiple players to complete, unfortunately. But it's okay, we're here just for the motor. So come in, and usually what you'll do is you'll find a motor hanging about in one of these containers or just sitting on a shelf. There's a lot to loot through here. Rusted tools. We've got damaged heatsink is something else we need for the workbench, funnily enough. And then we can also check the containers. There's a rusted gear in there as well, which is absolutely crazy to think about. So we got our rusted gear. I'm going to show you another spot for the rusted gear as well. It's really quite funny that we stumbled across this. We might not get the motor this time, which would be a shame. But it does quite often spawn in here. Just really is what's quite funny. I guess it's not 100%. But we did get, believe it or not, a rusted gear in here. And we got a damaged heatsink. And we got power cable. So that is a lot of progress towards the workbench. Now at this power generation complex extract, we have 2 buses. And these buses, for whatever reason, always have a larger number of containers available to loot than the traditional bus. The bus itself maybe isn't so special, but each bus container has a chance to spawn rusted tools and the rusted gear. And with these buses having more containers than average, it ends up being a really good spot. Someone's already been through here this time, but you can see there's a side panel container. There's a back breach container as well. There's more side panel containers here, another back breach, and another side panel here. Someone's been through here. So we're going to do this route again, and I'll show you another time. Yeah, I see it. You see that? We've just come in through here the second time, and we can see a motor has spawned on the computer there. So I suppose you can just check the spawn before you even enter the room. So let's go and get this open again, and we'll get that motor. The buses outside that I showed you last game do spawn the rusted gear as well, of course. It's not a guaranteed chance. So I'm wondering, maybe it actually makes more sense to just loot this over and over. You can even get mushrooms here for Scrappy as well, which is pretty awesome. It's not going to be as good as Spaceport, but it's an underrated spot that might not be as contested right now. Here's another spawn, by the way, that I didn't catch last time. It can spawn right at the bottom of the dip in the water here, right next to one of these breachable arc husks. So if you see the Rocketeer, it's just here. That's 5 spawns in total. There may be more. These are the ones that I know about. There's another mushroom there as well. You can see they're growing on quite a lot of the pipes up here. So keep your eyes peeled as you're going around doing this fuel cell puzzle. Now we can come through here, and we got the motor. So you need 3 motors, right, to get one of the workshops upgraded. It's the level 3 refiner upgrade. So you may need to come in here a few times. But the good news is you're going to also get rusted gears here. You're going to get toasters. You're going to get power cables. There's another motor there as well. So we got 2 that time. So you can see it in action here that they are actually spawning in. Good few raids in here, and you're going to make nice progress on the workshop. There's another power cable there as well. So literally this spot here you can run a few times. And the devs have very clearly put in workshop-specific items in here, which is pretty awesome. There are a bunch of items that you can only get in medical areas. So that's going to include the antiseptic, the rusted shut medical kit, the cracked bioscanner, and the laboratory reagents. Just go to any medical area, testing annex on Dam, Buried City Hospital, Stella Montes Medical Research. Those places will get you sorted. And then we have the industrial battery. There isn't like a guaranteed spawn for this one, but a good place to get a high chance is in Hydroponic Dome Complex on Dam, or you can do Stella Montes Loading Bay. Both of those are good. And then we also have a collection of other items which you can do in a single run. This will include the power cable, the toaster, and more importantly, the fried motherboard and damaged heatsink. All you want to do is come to Spaceport's departure building, where you'll get your hands on all of these items. Let me show you what you want to be keeping an eye out for here. First, come up all the way to the top floor. can go up the stairs, or you can take any other entrance through the building to get to the top floor. Now, once you're here, a quick little detour to these. Now, these spawn on pretty much every map. I think they're the best on Stellar Montis, like everything in Stellar Montis. But these are going to give you the damaged heat sinks and fried circuit boards. So you're going to want to loot these if you're after those items. The spawn rate is different depending on what map you're on. Like I say, best chance is probably hitting up Stellar Montis, honestly. Or you can do the launch tower and spaceport as well. Seeing as we're here, we may as well check these. There's a fried motherboard there, for example. And then once we're done there, the main thing about this place, honestly, is these drawers. Let me show you what I mean specifically. I'm going to just skip ahead. These ones here often have power cables inside. And I'll find some more to show. And also, toasters can spawn on the desks themselves. Somebody's already been through here, so it's going to make our run a little bit less effective. But regardless, I'll try and show you what exactly I mean. Damaged heatsink just chilling on the desk as well. There's another spot for you to check. There's a power cable in here, like I say. So it's these white drawers here you're looking for the power cables. So yeah, you loot the white drawers for the power cables. And these ones can also have power cables. And you just loot your way through, basically. Picking up all of the power cables that you can. And looking on top of desks for toasters. Once you're done this floor, you can just drop down and go to the floor below. And you'll find more lootable areas as well. You can also come through the cafeteria section as well, which you'll find on this side, on the middle floor. And you can find toasters there as well. So there's another spot for the toasters. If you didn't manage to find any on the desks upstairs, there's also another spot for power cables as well, if you still need some. And look, there's 2 toasters there. In fact, the cafeteria might be a better place to go for the toasters than upstairs. Look at that. So there we have it. Guaranteed and high chance spots for all of the crafting materials you need for the workbench. Hopefully this video is useful, and I'll see you all in the comments. Cheerio.